and thank you for joining us for another edition of the Partners in Prevention Show. I'm your host, Keeta King. From community riots to the bloodshed of unarmed citizens by the hands of police, the graphics of discord and conflict among communities and local police departments nationally is etched in our minds weekly by the media. Well, to take a preventative approach, Partners in Prevention's Unity and Diversity Committee is hosting a World Cafe. The World Cafe provides a platform for open, honest, civil dialogue that will center around this very sensitive subject. And the topic, trust among local police department and the community. So joining me today to talk about what the World Cafe is and what we expect to get out of the World Cafe is Officer Kristie Brian and Mr. Carlton Mitchell. How are y'all doing today?
Just fine. How are you?
Thank you for joining us. Carlton, we'll start with you. And you're the moderator for the event. So tell us, what exactly is World Cafe and what is it all about?
The World Cafe is a format that's being used increasingly across the country, as opposed to a town hall where you have one person standing up and everyone approaching the front and giving their opinions on things. This is more of it's a collaboration. There are small tables with groups at each table that talk and have honest dialogue for about 20 minutes or so with a host at each table. And after the 20 minutes, they're allowed to move to another table to discuss some of the same issues or even other questions with a different group of people.
Okay, so there's like a cross-pollination of ideas and mindsets to where hopefully you get an understanding of what your neighbor is thinking if you happen to be at the table with your neighbor.
That is, yeah, that's certainly the hope, that we would be able to bring in a diverse amount of thoughts and people who are across different spectrums of society. They have the blue-collar workers, the white-collar, in government, out of government, private business, business owners, everyone who has a vested interest in the city.
And everybody has a place at the table. Everybody's welcome.
Absolutely. Everyone is invited to the table. Whether you agree or disagree, this is an opportunity for some real dialogue.
Right. Okay, good. And you're the moderator, so what is your job? What do you do?
My job really is to, feed the questions out to each group and to make sure that things stay on an even keel, that people who are there come there because we're looking for solutions. So this isn't an opportunity for us to argue. It's an opportunity to talk about issues that are affecting all of us. So my job really is to be a facilitator, just to keep things moving along, having people switch tables at a certain time, and really answer any questions that might come from a group or a host that would be about the format or what to do next.
Okay, and I know this is a very sensitive topic, and we're saying that everyone will have an opportunity to speak. Well, what about those people who may not feel so comfortable about speaking out about how they really, truly feel? Will they have a voice and will they be able to?
That's one of the neat things, one of the unique things about this format. We'll have paper and writing utensils at every table, so the person who's not comfortable giving their opinion openly can just jot down notes, not even sign the notes, but be able to jot those down, because we really desire to have everyone's viewpoint about what's going on in the city and how things could be better moving forward.
Right. Okay. Now, Kristie, why is it so important to Longview Police Department at this point in time to have these conversations?
Well, over the last year or so, we've had several incidents that have involved police officer shootings. So certainly we want the community to have the opportunity to ask questions and kind of get clear in their minds what's going on, why we do what we do. Sometimes there is confusion amongst the public about why we make the decisions that we make. And so we hope in these smaller group settings that we'll be able to actually talk to them and kind of explain things and maybe calm some of their fears.
Okay. Now, does the police department, because you'll have people there who are pro-police, you'll have people there who are anti-police, how does the police department feel about having these type of conversations with, the community as a whole?
Well, like he said, in town hall meetings, you have one person get up at a time, and it's a little more difficult to discuss that, whereas in the roundtable discussions, and you have several people that have differing opinions, and you're able to talk to them in a smaller group at one time.
Okay. So overall, what would you say that you guys hope to accomplish?
Just to make more contact with our public and, you know, hear their concerns as well, because we want to give them the best police services possible. And if we don't hear from the community and what their concerns and their questions are, and, you know, what their goals, what they want us to do and accomplish, then certainly, you know, we can't do that.
Okay. All right. Now, Carlton, I'm coming on May 28th. What do I see?
What I hope you see is people who look like you and people who don't look like you. I hope you see a diverse group of individuals who all have one thing in mind. We've got to figure out what's going wrong, and also figuring out a way to stem any adverse feelings between the community and the police. I think everyone there would admit and would welcomely admit the police services and fire and other administrative services for a municipality are things that we need to have.
Right.
But it's based on a relationship, and we need to be able to trust those who are coming to serve, and those who are coming to serve our communities need to have faith in us that we will cooperate and be a part of this process. So
Okay.
I hope what you'd see when you get there is just a cross-section of people who are investing in their city.
Okay. And one last thing for you. I know there's a harvest at the end. What is the purpose of the harvest? How does that work?
Well, the harvest is us gathering all the information from the different tables, some of it written, some of it spoken, and then taking that information and using that in a way to better our city. Whatever we could glean from that, even Kristie spoke really well about even things that are negative. I think the police department desires to harvest that information and utilize that information in their policing in the community.
Okay. Kristie, would you have anything that you'd like to say to any citizen who may be just a little bit hesitant to be seen with talking to the police or in conversation with the police?
Well, I think without that dialogue and without people coming and expressing their concerns, whether it be good or bad, we can't do our job effectively. So we want to hear those things. We want to hear what the public has to say so that we can actually do a better job for the citizens here in Longview.
And will we have officers there that day?
We will have officers there.
Okay. World Cafe will take place May 28th at 6:30 p.m. If you may have questions about World Cafe and or Partners in Prevention or Unity and Diversity Committee, you can give us a call at 903-237-1019. We hope to see you at the cafe.